Welcome to the exciting world of cybersecurity and hacking with Kali Linux. We'll look at this Hacker's Toolkit. So the first thing we'll need to do is to download Kali Linux. Where can you get Kali Linux in the first place? So you can download it for free from the internet. We're just going to open a browser and go to the website kali.org. So go to kali.org and you'll see this website. You'll see this about this hacking system. So it's a computer system, just like you might use Windows, might use Mac OS. Kali is another system, but it's a system specifically for security. So specifically for hacking, this is another word for hacking, security research, digital detective. So being a digital detective and finding out what programs do behind the scenes. And so they use different words for that, but it's the same meaning. You see this website kali.org. You can download Kali, and there's various ways to run Kali. And so the most easy would be just to install it onto your computer. Of course, you would need a computer specifically for hacking. Now, that might be an option for you depending on your budget. You could install Kali directly on your computer. You'll see it's the recommended option. So if you click there, you see you can download Kali Linux. It's 4 gigabytes, so quite large. If you have an Apple computer, you can also an installer for that. But in general, you would just use the first one, 64-bit. Download it, and then you write that onto a USB flash drive and start it. Restart the computer, and then it would start the installer. Another option is to use a virtual machine. So if you click on that, you'll see virtual machine images. So you have here VMware, VirtualBox, Hyper-V, QEMU. So what is this virtual machines? So you can have a computer inside a computer. So for example, in your computer, perhaps you're using Windows, Mac, or Linux, you can start these programs, VMware, VirtualBox, and within that program, you can start other systems. That could be Kali Linux, that could be another Windows system, it could be a Mac system, and so on. So you can have computers in computers. That is the idea of virtual machines. For example, it could be VirtualBox. You saw here on the Kali site, you can have VirtualBox image. So then you would have the program VirtualBox from virtualbox.org. And then you can run computer systems inside computer systems. So on top of your existing system. You can go to screenshots to give you an idea. So here, for example, you have a Windows computer running a Linux system inside, and it's running on top like a program. Now, this can be done for many kind of systems. So you'll see here a Mac computer running a Windows system. I have different screenshots here, but I think you get the idea. Here we have another, seems to be a Linux system with Windows XP running inside. So you can have computers inside computers. You can have systems running as an application on your computer. And that's one of the ways to run Kali. Now, it's a good option if you don't have any spare computer left. If you have a spare computer, then go for this installer image and just install Kali Linux inside your computer. So you have your dedicated hacking computer. That's just super cool to have. So if you have some spare money, you could get an extra computer, install Kali in it, and you have a hacking computer right in your fingertips. Now, once you download this image, so you can click on this little download icon. So suppose you go this route, and instead of the virtual machines, you go for to run it directly on the computer. You see it's an ISO file. So how do you get that on your computer? You can download another program called Balena Etcher. So we go to balena.io. Now, you'll see, okay, we have this balena.io, and we need to go to the /etcher site. We go to this page, balena.io/etcher or etcher.balena.io. Then we can download this program. If you click download Etcher, you can download the program. You'll need USB flash drive. So in this case, we are downloading a very large file of 4 gigabytes. It's huge. So you need a USB flash drive of at least 4 gigabytes, which most drives these days have that. So then you select the image that you just download, select the drive and click flash. That's all there's to it. Then restart your computer with that flash drive inserted, and Kali Linux should then start from the USB flash drive. You should then see the installer. So make sure to do that on a new computer. Don't do that on your existing computers, because you might lose your files if the installation wipes your existing system. So that's not something you want. You want a dedicated system for hacking. If that's not an option, then go the virtual machine routes. So instead of choosing the installer image, go for virtual machine if you don't have any second computer that you can use just for hacking. So if you go to the virtual machines, you can use any of these programs to run computers in computers. Now VirtualBox is a free option, so I recommend going with that. You can get it from virtualbox.org. Then download it from your system, so depending on using a Windows or Linux system. Now with Mac computers you have to be careful, because newer Macs don't support Intel systems. So this is just if you have Intel computers, then you can use VirtualBox for that. Then once you have the VirtualBox installed, you are able to load the image that you just downloaded. So if this download is successful, you can then load that in your new virtual computer and install Kali Linux as a virtual computer. So you would then have start your computer, for example, from a Windows computer, and instead of this system, you would then have Kali Linux running. So those are different ways to run Kali. You'll see if I go back, there's some other options. So you might run it on your mobile phone and run it in the cloud, like Amazon Cloud or any of the other clouds. You can also run it on a live boot. That means that nothing is installed. You just start it from the USB flash drive on any computer anywhere in the world, and then you have your Kali Linux hacking toolkit on any of the world's computers. So then you don't need to install anything. The whole system will run from your USB flash drive. That's another option. The installation process is the same. So you go there, click download button, and then write it to the USB flash drive. See, there's also some other options. So this is if you have an ARM chip, different computer chip. You can run it in containers. Now, this might be a bit more tricky to do that, but it's possible. And you have the Windows subsystem for Linux, which is also a little bit tricky to set up. So I recommend going with one of the top options to get Kali Linux on your system. Now, before you continue next videos, make sure that you have Kali Linux at your fingertips. Make sure that you can run it, because we are going to explore Kali Linux, which makes sense if you then have the system and you can follow along. Welcome to the exciting world of Kali Linux, the hacker's playground. In this video, we're going to dive deep into what Kali is and some of the powerful tools it offers, and how it can be used for various hacking and cybersecurity tasks. So this is what Kali Linux looks like. It's a specialized Linux system, so a computer system designed for hacking, security, and digital forensics. So it's like a Swiss Army knife for hacking your computers. So the primary purpose of Kali is to perform a platform for cybersecurity professionals, hackers, and anybody interested in security. So it's all about finding vulnerabilities before the bad guys do, or maybe you're just using it for fun. So let's now talk about tools. In Kali Linux, you have this graphical interface where you have a lot of programs that come outside of the box. So you have the terminal where you can type commands. You can type all kind of commands here. For example, this command would show you the Kali Linux version, a command line interface. But it also comes with many graphical tools. So you have some of your default programs. You have a web browser, Firefox, a text editor, a file explorer, just to show the desktop. And you also have this menu. So in this menu, you can find many of the cool tools. So let's talk about these tools. Kali Linux comes packed with a lot of hacking and security tools. So this includes Nmap, which WireShark, Metasploit, some of the tools we go over in this course. So if you go to, you'll see they are sorted by category, information gathering. We have a tool called Nmap, which we can use to find information about our target, and the target being another computer. Now, of course, you can gather information in various ways. So there's all kind of tools for that. For example, if we open this one, you'll see different tools that you can use to find information about your target. Now, you have some tools for vulnerability analysis, website analysis. So, for example, this one is for scanning WordPress sites, popular blog system. You can find out, okay, maybe there are some programming errors in their blog that you can use to hack their blog. Now, all kind of web related, you'll see there's the database category, password attacks. So many things can be password protected, but just because it has a password doesn't mean it's secure. So you'll see password cracking tools for offline, so for computer passwords like Windows passwords, but also online ones. So on your target system, you might have some password protected remote control. Those can perhaps be hacked. Now, for wireless networks often have passwords, so you can hack those as well if you're lucky. And you'll see all those tools are categorized by purpose. And so it is really not your regular system. It is really about hacking computers and cybersecurity. That's why all this software have nothing to do with the traditional user, like using Word, Excel and all that. That's not what's in here. It's all kind of cybersecurity and hacking tools. So it's really cool, the Kali Linux. You can get it for free from kali.org. And so most of the tools are either graphical or have a terminal interface. So you can start those programs just by clicking on it. For example, we can click on this tool, and this is a terminal tool apparently. If we resize it, you'll see this is just a terminal tool. But there's a lot of programs here, graphical as well as a terminal. For example, this one is a graphical tool that you can use to hack websites, you can use to do automated password attacks and so on. Really cover this tool in this course specifically because it's really heavy and quite comprehensive. So we'll just give you a basic idea of Kali Linux and go over some tools and do an actual hack. But we won't cover every possible tool in this course. Just go over some of the basics. So let's close this one. So Kali Linux is used for cybersecurity, or if you're into that, for network security, student learning to hack. It has something for everyone. So a critical point to stress here is to use it for ethical and legal use. So if you use it for other purposes, that's not how it's supposed to be used. You should use this only for legal and ethical purposes. So why is this Kali Linux so significant? It's a platform for anyone looking to explore and understand the world of hacking and cybersecurity. It's a gateway to learning, securing, and defending in a digital age. So in this series, we're going to take you on a fascinating journey into Kali Linux. We'll dive deeper into tools, techniques, and real-world applications. So keep watching if you want to know more about hacking and cybersecurity. Welcome to the Hacker's Toolkit, your initiation into the world of hacking and cybersecurity. In this first lesson, we're going to dive into one of the most beginner-friendly tools, WireShark. We're inside Kali Linux here, the system that we're going to use. Now, WireShark is a program that can capture network traffic. So it allows you to capture network traffic and data traveling across the internet, and you can inspect or peek into the digital bloodstream of the internet. But don't worry, we're keeping things legal and ethical. So I'll open WireShark here, go to the left top corner and type WireShark. So that will start up WireShark. First, we need to start with capturing packages. And we do that by selecting our network device, which most likely is the top device. You'll see a little chart here of there's some network traffic. So in my case, it's ETH0. That is the network device. So double click on it. And now it will start capturing network traffic. You'll see there's already network traffic without me doing anything on the computer. So you can click on every individual package. You'll see some data here that is being sent. Now this is not very interesting data. You can do all kinds of things. So let's open the browser. Let's open Firefox here and see what happens. So we're going to kali.org and you'll see there's a lot going on here in this WireShark program. We can enlarge it. Let's stop the capture for now. Click on the red button and you'll see now we have a capture of the network traffic. That's been like the last few minutes. And you'll see everything that's been going on the computer. From the beginning of the video until now. And you'll see there's quite a lot of that happened when we started the Firefox browser. So you'll see it's been connecting to Mozilla.org, which is the creator of the Firefox browser. So you'll see of the data being sent. So apparently it's connected to AWS here, which is the Amazon services. So you see it has been doing some stuff there. And you can inspect it. And you'll see here different things that are going on and different protocols with different colors. So what's that about? On the internet, you have all kind of traffic going from your computer to the outside world. Now, that can be different type of traffic. It can be videos, it can be site names, or it might be just general, like did my request be received or not, and so on. So these languages that the data transfers over the internet is called a protocol. There are many protocols. TCP is one of the most basic ones that all it does is make sure that your data that you send is received. Now DNS is all about the web. So all about website names. That's why you'll see push.services.mozilla.com appear a lot, and you can see other website names as well if you keep monitoring it. So you'll see here more DNS requests. Something about TLS here. TLS protocol is for secure internet traffic. So you can scroll down, you'll see some more. We see here kali.org, so that's the website we opened. So you'll see if you have WireShark running, you can see what the user is doing on its computer. You see here fonts.google APIs. It's not something we specifically opened, but perhaps is included by kali.org or the previous website. And we can inspect the whole session. You'll see here another Google website that has been loaded that we didn't really open, but is running in the background of the website. And you'll see more general things. And finally, you'll see here ARP, which is about the network card itself and doesn't have anything to do with the browsing. So with WireShark, you can capture traffic on any computer. That can be a Kali computer, but it can also be a regular computer. And then you can have some idea what is going on the computer. Of course, there's millions of things going on, but specifically about internet traffic. So from your computer going to the internet, what is happening there? So see, it wasn't so bad, right? WireShark is a fantastic tool. It gives you a real-time view of the data traveling through your network from your computer to the internet. So throughout this course, we'll explore various tools and techniques to build up your hacker toolkit from the ground up. So if you're ready to roll up your sleeve and start this journey, let's go to the next video. Remember, it's all about learning, exploring, and understanding the digital world. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Hacker's Toolkit, where we're continuing in our journey into the world of hacking and cybersecurity. In this lesson, we're diving into another fantastic beginner-friendly tool, Nmap. Nmap, or Network Mapper, is like a digital detective that helps you explore devices and services on your network. It is one of the essential tools for ethical hackers, and it's remarkably user-friendly. So, before we scan a device with Nmap, we need to know which devices are on our network. Suppose we're connected to a public Wi-Fi, maybe in an airport, a library, a restaurant, a hotel lobby, or anything else. We are on a network, but we don't know anything about the devices on the same network. So what we can do is run a command called ARP scan. Now this is the command to run, and we need to run this as administrator. To run it as administrator, we type sudo in front. So this command will list the devices on the network, so you will know which other people or which other devices are on the network. Of course, there can be many devices on the network depending on where you're at. So run that command and you'll see there's 3 devices on this network. You'll see these 3. every device is a unique network address or internet address. That's often called IP address, Internet Protocol address. So just remember that these addresses are 4 numbers separated by dots. Those are device addresses. And you need to remember that because we, as a hacker, we will scan those. Because we will use those addresses to hack into their computer, into their devices. So now we'll use a tool called Nmap. You'll see on the right here, we have one of the victim computers, one of the innocent people just using this same network. Installed all kind of apps on their computer. This is a Linux computer with all kind of apps running. So let's scan their computer. So this is one of the devices on the network that we listed with ARP scan. So we're gonna press enter with the nmap command, and it will list any applications that are publicly exposed so that we can connect to from our computer. And here we go. We got a bunch of applications that are listed here. We've got SSH running, which is a tool to remotely connect and administer a computer system. We've got HTTP. You might be familiar with that from the web. It's a web browser or a web server. We've got a strange one here that I'm not quite sure what it is. And we have one for remote desktop. So then you can remotely log into the computer and remotely control it. It's called VNC. There's also WinRDP or RDP. Those are protocols to remotely control computers. So there's quite a bunch of things that are exposed here. So there you have it. This has got Nmap, we've got it up and running, and we did a simple network scan. So if you're new to this, don't worry. It's pretty basic. You just open the terminal with this icon here. If you know the device, the target you want to scan, you type nmap space with the address of your target, press enter, and that will tell you if there is anything open that you can possibly attack. Now, depending on what the user does with the system, one or more applications might be running. So in this case, it's running remote desktop allows, there's running something with the web, and also remote control software. So a hacker could possibly hack with one of these applications and get into the computer. So that's all there is. It's not so intimidating as it sounds. It's a powerful tool that can help you discover which applications are running on the victim's computer, on your target. So you have both tools. You have ARP scan that lets you scan the devices on the network, and then you have Nmap where you can find out which applications are running on the target that possibly can use to hack. So throughout this course, you'll learn a lot more about tools and techniques. They're perfect for beginners. So if you're ready to expand your knowledge and skills into the world of hacking and cybersecurity, keep watching. Remember, this is all about learning, exploring, and understanding the digital world. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Hacker's Toolkit. We're taking our exploration in the hacker world to the next level. In this lesson, we're diving into Hydra, a powerful tool for password cracking. Hydra is a command line tool, and it's a versatile and essential tool in the world of hacking. It can be used for perform password attacks into the system. So we're going to learn how to use it, and you'll see I already did a scan onto this victim's computer. We had several services that are open. We used Nmap in the previous video, and then we could see if one or more services are open. You'll see several applications here that are exposed to the internet. So how do we start Hydra? Hydra is another command line tool. So you just type Hydra, and it outputs a lot of text, but it also outputs this. So this is how you would use Hydra. You need specify a user, password list, and the address you want to attack, as well as the language or the protocol, in this case FTP. Now remember, we will use Hydra on this address, which will be different on your computer, whichever address you scanned with Nmap. So we will type Hydra -L the username, -B with the password list. We'll get into that later. And then IP address, as well as the protocol. You'll see here FTP://. Now, if we check our Nmap results, there is no FTP. But we might be able to crack VNC or SSH. Both allow you to remotely control. One is terminal remote control and the other is graphical remote control. So let's say SSH. Now we'll need a password list because what Hydra does is use brute force password by password. So it will try every password in a text file. So Hydra may sound complex, but once you get the hang of it, it's a fantastic tool for testing the security of your own systems and networks. And so we'll need to be able to find this password list. We'll need a list of passwords. Do we need to download that from the internet? Well, there is one included with Kali Linux of like 1 million passwords. So we don't necessarily need to download a list of passwords from the web. We go to the file browser, to home, press Ctrl L, and then go to user, share, word lists. And there you'll find a password list called rockutxtgz. I'm gonna copy that into the home directory and we'll extract it. So it might take a moment, and then we'll have a text file with 1 million passwords. You'll see here, apparently it's not refreshed yet. We have a large text file. Now don't open it because that text file is like really large, so it will load forever in your notepad. We're just going to specify it in the command line here. Now the username is a wild guess, so we don't see the username. You'll see here we specify a username, and this is just a wild guess. So you'll see here it said Ubuntu. That's why I picked Ubuntu as a username. Of course, you don't know what is the username. You can try with a list of usernames, or you might know something about the victim or the target that maybe they're publicly exposed on LinkedIn or something like that. You might know their names that they could use as username. If you're not sure, you can also use a list. In that case, you would use a capital L with a users.txt file and then specify a list of users. Now in this case, I'm just going to go with Ubuntu. And running this command, I'm gonna enlarge it for better or more clear output. Press enter. As you'll see now, it's attacking. Now this might take a while depending on where or if the password is in the list at all, in the password list. So it depends really on the password. So it might take a very long time. You might need to leave this running for the whole day or longer, because the password might be somewhere in that list of 1 million passwords inside rockutxt. But before it tried 500,000 passwords, it's gonna take a while, right? So if it finds the password, you'll see an output like this with the color highlighted in green, your target, username, and the password. So if I enlarge this, you'll see we found the password of the victim's computer. So now we can just use it, in this case SSH. So we have the password of that application. We can now use that application to remotely log in. And here in this case the password 123456. And we are now inside the target's computer, the Ubuntu computer. So with Hydra you can hack into computers. You can find the passwords, or you might be able to find it using the brute force attack. So trying every password one by one in a large password list. So let me exit here. Now remember, when we run Nmap, we saw several applications. So we saw SSH, we saw VNC, and several others. So it's not limited to SSH. You can attack any protocol, any application. So let's say we pick VNC from this one. Okay, so it seems VNC is not supported in this list, but there are more protocols supported. If we type Hydra, might actually see some list here, but okay, not right now, but okay, here we go. It supports all kind of applications or protocols. So remote desktop, there is TeamSpeak, file sharing, network file sharing, PC anywhere for remote desktop, some database stuff, and all kind of other things. You'll see file sharing here, FTPS. So with Hydra, you can do a brute force attack with different protocols. So we tried SSH, but whatever things exposed on network, you can attack it with Hydra and do a password attack. So it might sound complex, but basically it's just trying passwords one by one on any application exposed on the internet. So let's dive deeper into the Hackers Toolkit course. So if you're ready to level up your hacking and cybersecurity skills, keep watching. Remember, hacking is all about learning, exploring, and understanding the digital world. So let's dive in. Welcome back to the Hackers Toolkit. We're diving into the world of hacking and cybersecurity. We're inside Kali Linux, and in this lesson, we're going to keep it simple and explore the art of port scanning using Metasploit. Now, let's talk about Metasploit. We can open the terminal here and type msf console. That would start the Metasploit program. So what is this Metasploit? Metasploit isn't just any tool. It's the superhero of hacking, the Bruce Wayne of ethical hacking, if you will. So Metasploit isn't just a bad guy's tool. It's a force for good in the world of cybersecurity. The purpose? Well, Metasploit is like a Swiss Army knife. It's your go-to toolkit for hacking and finding security vulnerabilities. You see, bad guys are out there trying to find weaknesses in your systems all the time. And Metasploit lets us do the same, but whatever purpose you want. So in today's lesson, we're going to use it for something crucial, port scanning. It's like knocking on doors and windows of digital building, seeing what windows open and what's locked tight. So with Metasploit, we can quickly scan for open ports and services on the target system. It's like having X-ray vision for the digital world. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. So get ready with the basics of port scanning. So let's start Metasploit. We'll take a moment to load because it's quite a heavy program. And you'll see it starts the Metasploit console. This is where a lot of hackers spend time. With this tool, Metasploit, they're able to hack many different types of systems. You'll see we have a little terminal window here, MSF6, where we can type commands. And you'll also see they always have some graphic once you start it up, and it says something about loads. So how we can get into system, different techniques. They're called payloads. And you'll see a lot of other stuff here. So this Metasploit has a... So Metasploit is where all the hackers spend their time. This allows you to hack many kind of computers. So to perform a port scan using Metasploit, we use this command, use auxiliary scanner port scan /TCP, and then press enter. You'll see use auxiliary scanner port scan TCP. Then you'll see our console changed. We have this prompt, that means we're using that. Okay, next we'll run some more commands. We'll use the set command. So we use set our hosts with the target IP address. Now, in case you don't, this will be different on your system. Let's see what our target was. Okay, this was our target IP address. So we configure that in Metasploit. Then might want to select to which port you want to scan. So there's like 1 to 1000. Maybe you want to scan until 10,000 or more. Let's say 1 to 1000. And then to launch the scan, we just type run. And you'll see it shows us open ports below 1000. So you'll see port 22 is open and port 80 is open. So this is how you will do a port scan or a network scan of a target system with Metasploit. You'll see this is a lot more complicated than just running Nmap. So why do we use this Metasploit? It's because there's just so much inside Metasploit that will help you with hacking. All kind of little tools and exploits that make it a lot easier, even though the commands seem a bit more complicated at first use. So if we check in our Nmap output, you'll see we saw more ports open. So why is that? You'll see 22, 80, and we had some others open here. It's because we set the ports to scan only from 1 to 1000. So let's say we want to scan larger. Let's say to 6000, and then press run again. And you'll see now it's scanning for a longer time, and it finds those ports as well. So there's nothing wrong with Metasploit. It's just defined. You can define how many ports you want to scan. So Metasploit will perform the port scan and display the results, showing which ports are open, so potentially attack your target system with that. So you're ready to unleash the power of Metasploit. You can play around with it. There's really a lot more that you can do with Metasploit, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. Just to show you, you can do a port scan with this, but of course you can run all kind of hacks. The recently famous hacks that hacked into Windows systems, and you can do all kind of funny attacks. So if you want to know more about cybersecurity, just keep watching. This is all about learning, exploring, and understanding the digital world.